You got me there. Welcome, Bolivian Generalissimo dictators to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And yeah, okay. You really sprung that on me.
Sorry, I had clicked it by the time. I mean, I didn't realize we were still talking.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. It's quite all right. So anyway, we are continuing on with our look of the movies of James Bond. Moving on, last week, we discussed the amazing Casino Royale, and now we go to Quantum of Solace.
Or right. Casino Royale 2.0 if you want.
Pretty much. Well, it's like a 2.5.
Yeah.
It's like more of a fraction of it. Initial impressions on this one. They made no. Started the stream randomly makes things more fun. It does, Kurt. Thank you. Wow,
thank you guys.
So yeah, I feel like they leaned so far, at least for the first 2/3 of this movie, they really played Casino Royale's greatest hits.
Yeah. Yeah. My first impression of this movie was I've never seen a movie made almost entirely in order to wrap up the threads started in another movie.
Right. Well, especially in a Bond movie.
Yeah.
Because this is the only direct sequel to a Bond movie. Every Bond movie before that came before it takes place. There's some indeterminate amount of time in between, maybe a couple of years or whatever. We're still trying to figure out that whole continuity. But with this one, it is immediately after Casino Royale wraps. And how do we know that? Because Mr. White is in the trunk of Bond's car. And I will say a really good car chase. It's a really good way of kicking off the movie. Again, one of the shorter pre-title scenes.
Not only the shorter pre-title scene, but this is the shortest Bond movie.
Yes. This one comes in just shy of 2 hours.
Yeah, but
in the back of my head, I want to say it was an hour and a half long, and it wasn't. It is just a couple minutes shy of a 2-hour film.
Well, if you take out the credits, I think it's about an hour and 40 or so.
Something like that. I don't know. There might be another. I think Goldfinger actually might be the shortest Bond. No?
No. I looked it up this morning.
Oh, okay. Bond is still under. It's a Bond. Goldfinger's still under 2 hours, though. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quantum of Solace is really. They're just doing all the hits for you. A lot more of the shaky cam, a lot more of the unconventional Bond stunt work.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate, again, because Daniel Craig puts his body to places that no other Bond could do.
Oh, yeah.
And in this one, I guess he really banged himself up. He really hurt himself doing this movie.
Yeah, it looks like it. I have no issue with the action sequences, except the handy cam, like the shaky cam. It makes a few of them, especially like the scene in with the scaffolding and all that, makes it really kind of hard to watch and keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's very tough to keep track of that. I feel like they'll improve that moving forward. But with this one, this was. I mean, we had mentioned before with Casino Royale, it's very inspired by things like Batman Begins and Bourne Supremacy.
Yeah.
This one is totally Bourne Ultimatum.
Oh,
it just really pulls all of the fight choreography from Bourne Ultimatum. I think they do a good job. Again, this is... All right, here's what I'm going to say about this one. I'm just going to put my cards on the table early for this one. This is widely considered to be the worst of the Craig movies. It's either, for most people, it'd either be this or Spectre, which you still haven't seen, so I'll be really interested in seeing what your thoughts are on that. Coming back and watching this one, yeah, it's still the lesser of the Craig movies, but it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's just remarkably unspectacular.
Yeah. And none of the Craig movies hit the depths that like Moore or Brosnan hit.
Yeah, no, we still don't have invisible cars. We still don't have rockets to outer space.
Yeah, but it's just for since like after coming off of the high of Casino Royale and before the spoiler, the high of Skyfall, this one is just like
it's there.
Point A ends at point B, and things happen in the middle. And
it's the one that if you aren't paying attention, you might forget. And for the most part, I feel like that is the way every Bond, with the exception of Dalton and Lazenby, because there aren't enough there to remember. Yeah. There is that almost like, oh yeah, that one too. Yeah. I feel like with Connery, it's You Only Live Twice. With Moore, as much as I love the movie, it's The Man with the Golden Gun.
I would say like what was the one with Christopher Walken?
Oh, View to a Kill.
Yeah, I think that one tends to be a little bit more forgotten because it was like the last one.
Yeah, it was the last one, and it should have gone to somebody else.
Yeah.
Brosnan, It's the World Was Not Enough.
Yeah.
We remember the super bad ones. We remember the great ones, but there's some stuff in there that just make the movies unremarkable, and that's kind of where Quantum of Solace fits in. Yeah. And again, not to say this is a bad movie by any measure. Hey, Jane, how are you? Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Join us while we talk about Daniel Craig.
And we do get shirtless again in this one.
Oh, you kidding me? That dude works out. If I worked out like Daniel Craig worked out, I would do this. I would do this shirtless, but I don't, so I won't. You're welcome.
And I won't even subject you to the horror that this is.
That's fine. That's fine. The weird thing about this movie is just like there are moments of really there are moments where Mark Forster's direction really pays off, but you can tell he just handed the keys to the second unit director and said, just do this, please.
Yeah.
Car chase, foot chase, boat chase, you do that.
And
exploding flat hotel, you do that.
It also probably doesn't help the fact that this happened during the writer's strike.
Right.
I guess Daniel Craig and Mark Forster actually did do some touch-ups on some of the script at points, but they were uncredited for it.
They had to, yeah. Actually, thank you, Jane. Thank you. Yeah, I actually listened to a podcast about Quantum of Solace from it was a shit show, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, that's the name of the podcast?
That's the name of the podcast. It was a shit show. I will forward you over the episode. It actually is quite good, but they talk about Quantum of Solace and all the issues they had because of the writer's strike, because they had a first draft script. They were going to do revisions on it, which you can do during production, but because the writer's strike happened, they were stuck with the script that they had. And realistically, the only thing that they could change that wasn't in violation of that was some dialogue and stuff, because that is stuff that can happen on the fly with the actors. The actors can have a thing in that, and because they're not part of the Writers Guild of America,
yeah,
they had that freedom. But the script was the script feels unfinished, it definitely feels like a first or second draft. It doesn't feel like a finalized script. Again, this is what makes the movie so unremarkable. But I will say one scene that stood out, and if I had to rank like favorite just scenes, like isolated scenes of a Bond movie.
And I agree with you.
Tosca.
Yeah.
The Tosca Opera House scene is, I forgot how good that was. It's been forever since I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and it was like, they got artsy with it. No sound. None of the action sounds. It was just the opera. And they would cut to the things in the opera, and then they would cut to, Bond breaking a dude's arm, flipping him over a railing, shooting a couple of dudes.
For me, it was just him kind of listening in, and then as soon as he breaks in, and it breaks up the camera. It's like, okay, I need to hold on there.
Yep.
I'm like that.
And then
That's straight up Bond right there.
And then when he called out all the members of Quantum, and I'm going to get to Quantum in just a second, when he called them out, that was great because now he could see who it was. They didn't know who was talking to them, and then he could kind of work his magic that way. All right, so Quantum is so very much we didn't know if we were allowed to use Spectre yet.
Yeah.
It's so... I hate to say I wouldn't even say it's painful, and I apologize for the beeping. No, the beeping is my dehumidifier. It's hot down here. I will put that in my flower pots in just a little while because we are moisture farmers, like Luke Skywalker. So, I mean, I'm actually just pulling up Quantum of Solace now so I can get names right on here. But the scene itself was well shot. It was gorgeous. And I feel like if it weren't for some of the scenes in Skyfall, it might be one of the best looking like action set pieces in the entire movie. But other than that, a lot of the action sequences were just kind of like there. Here's your car chase. Here's your boat chase.
Yeah. I think possibly one of my biggest issues with this one is the fact that the entire movie seemed like, all right, Bond confronts Green face to face. They have a little conversation. Then Bond leaves. Green sends some henchmen over there. Bond fights the henchmen and beats them. Rinse, lather, repeat. Rinse, lather, repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse, it's like, dude, you know who your enemy is. Just take him out, please.
Matthew Almark is one of the least memorable villains. Now, I understand they were just trying to find a Le Chiffre 2.0. Yeah. They wanted somebody who was, again, this isn't world domination. He is honestly just trying to soak a third world country dry. Literally. Literally. But, I mean, apart from the fact I can't get over he looks like a young Roman Polanski. Weird. He's just kind of there. His henchman, Bruno, is just kind of there. And he's more of a foil than he is I mean, in the range of, like, great Bond hench people.
He's got a toupee.
Odd job. He's got his saw-like bowler hat. Xenia Onatopp kills dudes by screwing them. Bruno. Oh, let me fix that.
He's got a toupee and he can shoot.
I mean, if they had any balls at all, there'd be barbed wire under here. Just like tosses it and it comes right back to
him. Yeah, it's just, and
it's
and never for once did I believe that Camille would want to sleep with Dominic. It's like she is way out of his league.
Well, she kind of did. Well, she did it for a reason. She was trying to get in because the Generalissimo was going to be taken over, and he killed her family.
Yeah. By the way, Camille, the Bolivian Camille Montez, played by French
Ukrainian actress
Kuryenko.
Yeah. It's 2008 and it's late 2008, so technically speaking, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't the last person to do darkened skin for a movie. It belongs to her.
But I mean, I don't mind her in the role.
No, she's very good. But every scene of the two of them together, just walking, every still I see of that looks like it's a publicity still from a movie where these two just had the most comedically worst night of their lives. And they're just kind of like, it's like the movie Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey. It's just kind of like that. It's like, we're going on a date night and all this weird shit happens. And that's every scene that these two are walking together looks like that. It's like, well, let's never speak about this again.
Yeah.
Just like with Casino Royale, low booty count.
Yeah.
I think that might be what I'm going to call it, is the low booty count. Because, Strawberry Fields, played by Gemma Atherton. Yeah, haha. This is the closest to a weird Bond name we're going to get in any of the Craig movies.
Actually, do they ever actually call her Strawberry in the movie? Because she just called. She just says
Miss Fields.
Miss Fields.
It's a quick mention. I believe it is a quick mention because I knew this going into the movie before she even showed up, and I knew that her name was Strawberry Fields before I looked at it on IMDb. You want to talk about replaying greatest hits? That death scene just covered it. Well, she was drowned in oil. They said that it was in her lungs, so it's not like she was just covered in gold.
But yeah, hey, remember this? You really liked it back then too. I remember even seeing this in theater. I'm like, really.
It really is kind of weird because she is technically the only Bond girl in this movie.
Yeah. And really, all she does is like follow him around and then trip Bruno down the stairs.
She tripped Bruno. Yeah, that's how you can tell he's got the toupee because it's the first reveal of not his real hair, not his real stupid looking hair. Camille is more like what Michelle Yeoh or Halle Berry was up until the point where they actually do it.
You know who Camille is? Camille is Live and Let Die. Not Live, For Your Eyes Only. Because she was just there to get revenge.
Yep. No, exactly. Again, another greatest hit. This thing is like a Frankenstein's monsters of Bond's greatest hits.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like they gave Judi Dench a lot of heavy lifting in this movie, which I thought she did fantastically.
She always does.
Well, she always does. But I feel like the difference between the Craig movies and the Brosnan movies with her is that they're giving her like an actual character.
Yeah.
When she is referred to as being like a mother to Bond, this is the relationship that it should be, and not just, my nagging shrew of a boss is getting on my ass again. Let me just throw these tactical nuclear warheads in the back of my Aston Martin, and I'll be back. I can turn invisible. Another Bond movie with no gadgets?
I mean, yeah.
None. We haven't been introduced to Q yet either, so it's not even...
this one does have another trope that I'm not terribly fond of, in that there are the shadow elements in our government. We don't know who to trust. Ooh. I mean, some movies can pull it off. This one, it just felt like we get it. David Harbour's an asshole.
Yeah, it was so weird to see him in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It was very nice to see Jeffrey Wright back though. I love Jeffrey Slider.
Love Jeffrey Wright. He steals every scene.
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have as much to do as he did in Casino Royale.
No.
But he made his presence known. I feel like he owns every scene that he's in, which is always nice. I do like him a lot in this. I think, going into the next couple of movies, he is not utilized at all. I'm not spoiling anything because you've already seen Skyfall. You know he's not in Skyfall.
Yeah.
But he's very good in this. But it just kills me because the whole quantum thing is supposed to be the new Spectre, and it just... I almost feel like they knew that they had Spectre, but it was during the writer's strike, so they couldn't just switch everything out.
Yeah.
And they did want to name this after oh my god, why am I blanking on the damn author's name?
Ian Fleming.
The Quantum of Solace is actually the title of one of his books. It has fuck all to do with this movie.
It was a short story.
It was a short story. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah. So it is, they try to get the Fleming aspect in there, besides Casino Royale, obviously, because that was the big golden goose. They wanted to do that proper within Eon.
And not have Jimmy Bond in there.
It would have killed them to at least done one Jimmy Bond. Call him Jimmy once. Kind of like Joe Don Baker would call him Jimbo in those two movies.
Yeah, I am surprised that he didn't pull off a Jimmy Bond.
No, well,
Hey,
the
Jimmy
only
Bond.
way you could be allowed to do a Jimmy Bond would be in Casino Royale. It's the only allowable reason to do that.
Yeah, yeah, because
But
I could have seen either the Jodan Baker pulling it off or that redneck sheriff from Moore. He could
yeah,
have pulled it off too.
he is what he is, though. Sheriff Pepper. Yeah, all right. Let's talk music. This is going to be a short one, folks. This isn't going to go the 45 minutes that Casino Royale went.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
So I got to say, it's Dave Arnold. This is Dave Arnold's last turn at the conducting baton for Bond. He had a good run. He had a really good run.
Did fine. I mean, the music, other than the theme song, which was as unremarkable as the movie, the score itself was probably one of the better things about it.
Like I said on our podcast, it's literally Jack White just jerking his guitar off and Alicia Keys doing whatever it is that Alicia Keys does.
Yeah.
It's not a great, honestly, it's not a great song. I like the elements that Dave Arnold took from the song to put into the score.
Yeah.
I felt like those worked really well. But Dave Arnold did a really good job of that with Casino Royale as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he was, you know, I like Thomas Newman, so I'm not upset that Dave Arnold left. But, yeah, all in all, this
He got the job.
Huh?
He got where the job was.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I see this movie showing up on a lot of like lower tier, but I wouldn't rate it as that. There are Bonds that are far sillier. A lot of Roger Moore stuff is worse than this movie.
Oh yeah.
Half of Brosnan's catalog worse than this movie. Literally half. And Connery's got a couple of clunkers in there as well. This is still better than that.
Yeah, this movie's biggest fault is that it's fairly forgettable. It doesn't really, it doesn't really have a plot of its own. It's just, what do we need to finish from Casino Royale?
Right.
And it doesn't even do all that because they have to leave it open for Spectre coming on.
And yeah, and that's the thing with this movie is that because it really is just, at the end of the day, it is just a piece of trivia. What was Daniel Craig's second James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Because, it's like you're just going to go immediately to Skyfall and you totally forget this movie is in there. It's sandwiched in between Casino Royale and Skyfall.
Two of like the best.
Two of the chef's kisses.
Yeah. Of
the Bond saga. So yeah, any other thoughts on Quantum? Oh, Solace. Oh, I do want to say one thing. I am so happy that they reminded everybody how to make a Vesper Martini.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the full menu right there.
Oh, and it was great, too, because the guy repeated it right back to him in the exact same way that you're supposed to do it.
Yep.
3 measures of Gordon's gin. 1 measure of vodka. 1 measure of... I'm still going to do Lillet Blanc because you can't get the stuff that they mentioned anywhere in the world. Shake it with ice until it is cold and a thin slice of lemon.
Have you made that yet?
I have. Well, I've made it with a Lillet Blanc. Again, you can't get that other ingredient anywhere. But I have made it with a... I love it. It is my go-to martini, which is funny because I'm more of a cucumber gin kind of person, and I started buying Gordon's gin because it's a Bond gin, and also it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's so easy to buy. But yeah, I make a honey of a martini. I will drink one when we do No Time to Die because...
I suppose if I had one more thing to talk about is again going back to like the Bond's greatest hits, the scene with Vesper in the shower in Casino Royale. That was pretty much the near the end with in the flaming room.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing. She's like, and he's like comforting her and. He's about to shoot her, and then he sees the.
Well, yeah, it's preferable to dying, in a fire.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, they used to give World War I pilots pistols. If
Yeah.
your plane catches fire, just kill yourself because it's going to be a lot less painful. So, yeah, all in all, it is a movie. If you are looking to get into the Bond movies, I feel it's required viewing because it's just like it's like watching The Matrix and not going to Matrix Evolutions, even though I have made my feelings on the Matrix series clear.
I think you could have chosen a much better analogy than that.
I probably could have.
Yeah. It's like if you just watch Casino Royale, you're kind of getting like maybe 2/3 of the story.
Yeah.
This is the last third of the story, so you kind of have to watch them together.
Yeah. Or if you take that out and just do Casino Royale into Skyfall, all of a sudden now it just feels like a regular Bond movie.
Yeah.
Or a regular, it feels more like going from Your Eyes Only to Octopussy. Not in that sense of quality at all.
Yeah.
But realistically, I mean, how many back-to-back great Bond movies have there been? All right, well, Goldfinger and Thunderball. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So that was Quantum of Solace. But James Bond will return next week when we cover Skyfall. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a good one.
I can't wait to watch it again, quite frankly.
Yeah, I've been watching it. And I'm really enjoying going back. I'm going to be gone for a few days, so it's going to be like my viewing is going to be like so segmented. But yeah. So anyway, folks, Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcast, at Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. We are there. You can also, if you're a first-time viewer, thank you for joining us. Subscribe to this channel. Not only are you going to get all these great retro reviews, but we also put the audio to our podcast on YouTube as well, so you can check that out there. Check out the archives. We have a ton of great past podcast episodes, as well as really great past retro reviews. We probably hit the movie that you wanted us to talk about. It's probably there already. We still have a lot more to go through, though. So, yeah. You can also follow us on the social medias, on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. We are also available. Our swag store is available at TeePublic, keyword Geek Salad Podcast. So, anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be